Yo, what's up, guys? This is Donald, aka D-Bot from the West Box Score podcast, along with my co-host Alex. What's up, brother?
What's up, D-Bot?
Thanks so much, guys, for listening and downloading our show.
Before we get started, I got to ask you to please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, screenshot and tag us on Twitter and Instagram. We're at West Box Score. Our social links will also be in the show notes. D-Bot, we talking baseball today.
Yeah, we are. It's awesome.
We got to give a shout out to Sonny and Mano. He's on Twitter and Instagram at The Fox Crate. Check out his podcast along with Primo Rick. If you had to describe his podcast, D-Bot, how would you?
I'd say vinyl meets culture. That's the 3-word answer that tends to be given out.
Yep.
Also, we have an ever-growing Discord group. Check out that invite link in our show notes. Shout outs to Big Money Matt Paz, Billy Delgado, Nejon Galdames, Parker McDaniels, Brianna Flores, JV Ortiz, Rick Esparza, and Clipper Pablo, who's also on there.
Clipper Pablo, who let him in there? Kick him out. No, I'm just kidding, man. Clipper Pablo.
Ban him.
Ban him like the Astros. Nah, man. He's okay. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't cheat like the Astros, man. And finally, check out Sailor Brews Coffee, man. They are supporters of this show and a place where motivation meets coffee. They're a local roaster out there in Pasadena, focused on single origin Ethiopian coffee and luxury coffees such as Jamaica Blue Mountain. They stand for positive motivation, are advocates for appreciating and experiencing coffee for how it's meant to be, with no additives, that allows you to taste coffee for what it is without outside and artificial influence. Sailor Brew Coffee, helping you sail through the day's storms. Safe sails. Be sure to put our code WBS10 to get 10% off your first order. Also, we have an affiliate link that is in our show notes. Be sure to click that link. That helps out this podcast you're listening to right now.
Yep. And with that, guys, we got all that stuff out the way. Let's get into the show.
Thank you for bearing with us. Donald D-Bot Paz. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's going on, brother?
It's going good, man. Excited to talk some Dodger baseball now.
Yeah.
Dude, we haven't talked Dodgers in a hot minute. I know this.
Yeah.
I know this because we haven't even talked about how the Dodgers had an all-star break and how Shohei Ohtani is the new face of Major League Baseball and representing LA, right? LA-ish, LA adjacent down there.
Yeah, that's true. And, that's a good way to say
it. But we got to talk Dodgers here because the trade deadline has now passed and they were buyers during this trade deadline as much as a lot of the NL West were buyers. Yeah. And the Chicago Cubs were the sellers, man. Just selling off their entire portfolio. Nuttiness, dude. The big, obviously, acquisition the Dodgers made was Max Scherzer, Trey Turner for Gilbert Ruiz and Josiah Gray. And there's another minor leaguer in that deal as well. And for sure, that's the big deal that everybody's talking about. But what about the acquisitions they also made with Mookie Betts coming back in the lineup, Corey Seager coming back in the lineup? Yeah. Like, to me, those are the big acquisitions, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. This lineup was not the same without them. Mm-hmm. It really wasn't. I got to go to a game during this whole period of Mookie and Seager being out. And even on the pitching side, which I know we'll talk about a little bit, just... even though Kershaw doesn't start every game, but, the presence, it's all about the presence with these pitchers. Like when they're in there, it feels different. And just seeing them just like not performing to their best in that little lull they had was just really, disheartening to watch. The struggle on offense, like it almost felt like they had no offense. Mm-hmm. It was just like, what's going on here? Like, why are we not, and then obviously like Bellinger doesn't look the same. I mean, and there's a lot of criticism behind that. But yeah, man, it feels good to have Mookie and Seager back because those are two guys that are consistent when they're at bat. So that's really great. So I love that, man.
I mean, is it at all surprising that Bellinger's having the tough time. Like, dude, he ripped the shoulder out of his socket on that celebration in the World Series.
Yeah.
Like, dude, of course he's not swinging the bat well. So it's like, man, because that's what you point at, like, right? Bellinger's super cold, right? Like, he's under the Mendoza line, under 200, and it's just like, of course, like. And like everybody's like, well, how do we figure it out? Like, you let him heal. He shouldn't. Maybe he shouldn't. Maybe he should be sitting out a lot of this year. I mean, we could definitely use his bat as like a decoy, I guess, to hopefully get pitches like for the guys behind him or in front of him in the lineup. But it's just not. It's not all there. It's not all there. The power's not. The pop's not there. Obviously, the swing's not up there right now. But and that's the key to the offensive woes they're having, right? Because they're like very feast or famine. They either score 13 runs or they score 1. Or it's just there's no in between with this Dodger lineup. And a lot of it has to do with that spark plug of Mookie Betts coming back now. So hopefully he really is that heart and soul of the Dodgers. Like, that gets thrown around a lot, like that cliche, that player's the heart and soul of the team. But Mookie really is. Like, he was the one that put them over the finish line. They've always been a good team. And it wasn't until they acquired Mookie last year and they finally get it done. And they live and die with Mookie. It's really amazing. It's really amazing.
That's true. Yeah, man. I mean, he was definitely the catalyst when he came in. And even that first year that he played as a Dodger, you could tell there's a difference in the lineup and the whole team just felt different. So it was huge when he came on. And then, during that World Series run, he was very pivotal to that, especially in the regular season. He was really huge. And it's funny that Seager and him are the two that were out, because I would make the argument that Seager was the guy during the postseason that really took us over. And got us over that hump in the World Series. But Mookie was the guy that held it down during the regular season. So, it does make a huge difference to see them back. And I think that for the most part, like, the offense is a little wonky for me, but, I think they'll get back to the winning ways. And like you said, with Bellinger, it's like when I saw him live, it was one of those things where I was like, man, I wish he had more than just that same swing that he does, because he's always trying to swing for the fences. Yeah. He's a home run guy. And it always made me be like, dude, it's okay to play small ball, but I don't think that's his style. Like I'm starting to be okay with that. Starting okay with him being like just not his style. It's more like kind of like how Jock Peterson was, just like this dude who's at bat that is going to try to get one over the fence and that's it, So that's the only thing with Bellinger, which I wish wasn't the case with him. But I think this is just who he is at this point. He's a dude that just wants to get home runs, and that's it. And if he can't get it, it's just, it's a pop fly, and that's it.
Dude, chicks dig the long ball. That's what he's going for all the time. That's what he's doing. He's trying to impress everybody. But he's always with swinging that golf swing, and obviously a change of swing would benefit him, especially with his shoulder injury, like I mentioned earlier. And it's just the only bright spot why the Dodgers are only 3 games back of the Giants right now, right? Isn't that crazy to think they're second place behind the Giants?
The Giants, it's kind of hard to believe that.
Nobody. That
was the game I went to go see. It was against the Giants, and I was kind of like, there's no way this Giants team's this good, but they kind of are. They really have a good flow that they have working for them. Their pitching's on point. Their offense is on point. They're just, I don't know, they're just clicking right now. So I'm hoping that they stop clicking soon and just like, give out, start having some bad humps or something. We need that. We need them to fall back 3 games so we can take over.
Yeah, right. When are they going to stop overachieving the way they are? Because this is ridiculous to see a Giants team with really nobody on it beside Crawford, who's definitely there. Buster Posey, these mainstays, and yes, Yastrzemski's really come on as a good bat there in their lineup. But other than that, it's like who are these guys? Who is this ragtag group of ball players they got going on there? But that's what makes them dangerous, right? Like they're playing well for each other. They're not overdoing it, a Bellinger who's overswinging every time. So it's just, and that's how you win ball games. So I mean, I'm still waiting for them to come down to earth, but I don't know. Who knows? But really, the pitching, like I was gonna say, is what's keeping the Dodgers in this race with the cold, inconsistent bats that they've been having. And we got to give a big shout out to Julio Urias, man. 13 wins, 3.40 ERA right now, tied for the National League lead in wins right now. I mean, snubbed in the All-Star game. It's ridiculous that he didn't get sent to the Colorado All-Star game. So it's just Bueller's right behind him too with 11 wins, by the way. So Bueller, Urias are holding it down right now for the Dodgers. They're their two aces right now, 1A, 1B.
Exactly.
And when Kershaw comes back healthy, that'll be another big acquisition. And then Scherzer, let's see if it's the Scherzer that we've seen win all these Cy Youngs and World Series.
Yeah. We'll find
That's
out.
a dangerous 4-man rotation in any playoff series.
Oh yeah.
So
and there's also David Price, who even though hasn't looked the strongest, he looks like that year off really affected him. I'm hoping it turns around. Like I'm hoping at some point, like he at least, at best, I will at least be able to lead the bullpen. You know what I mean? That's something that I'd love to see. So.
Like the long spot starter, right? In case somebody has a bad night and gives up 3 runs early.
Something like that. Like at best case, if it, for whatever reason he can't really be a part of that top 4 because those guys are so good, I would love for him to show up at least. I mean, again, not the strongest so far. Looks like he needs a little bit of more work, but I don't doubt that he could get there, you know?
So yeah, coming up next, as we're recording this, we're recording on the eve of the Houston cheating Astros coming to town, and this time with fans at Dodger Stadium. And what are we expecting from that crowd at Dodger Stadium?
Man? Shoot, there's gonna be some inflatable trash cans. Right? That's what you're thinking?
We've seen the inflatable trash cans. We've seen them get thrown onto the field. We've heard them banging them all throughout. What can the Dodgers fans do? Like, what would it be? Like, obviously, Dieter Rule's going to have some nice music to serenade him with, like some nice heard it through the grapevine type of things. Like, some songs that, they, of course, Bang a Gong, of course, is going to be there. But, I mean, if you were going to the game, Donald, what would you do?
I mean, just boo them, I guess.
Relentlessly, right?
Relentlessly boo them, especially if it's like Correa at bat and Altuve at bat. I mean, those guys are gonna get it the hardest, where it's like they're not gonna escape the boos, and it's gonna happen every time they're at bat, and every time they probably make a play where like if they get a catch, they get the out or something on the Dodgers, they're probably gonna get booed hard for that. I do feel for the Astros fans that want to attend this game. I don't know if I'd attend this game if I was an Astros fan. You just never know. It just feels like this was like up there in terms of just things that could go wrong in terms of like how this one team screwed over the other team, and how the fan base views it for sure.
And it's weird, right? Because of course their fans had zero to do with the Astros cheating. So listen, Dodger fans,
of course,
if you see Astros fans out there, of course you're gonna boo them, and I'm all about that. But and that's about it. Boo them too, because like, how can you support cheaters, whatever? But you gotta understand that they weren't the ones cheating. The fans weren't the ones cheating here. The players were. Correa is the biggest cheater of all of them. Him and Altuve are the biggest offenders in my book, because it all comes down to accountability. Own up to what you did. Like Correa is still relentless, saying he. I love that video where he breaks down pitch by pitch why he didn't still. That whole apologist excuses of no, I couldn't have. There's no way they had game 3 here. We didn't cheat there, and game 5 here they didn't cheat. Like, ridiculous. Are you serious, man? Just own up to the fact that you cheated. Like, like it's not good, but I mean, just own up to it, man. We all know you're caught red-handed. And you're still going to make excuses for it.
You were aware of what happened, You don't, I mean, obviously you weren't the mastermind behind it. We know that, obviously. But you knew it was happening.
It was Alex Cora. We all know it was Alex Cora. We all know he did it in Boston too. Mookie's going to say it one day. When he retires in Dodger Blue, he's going to tell us all the truth. That's when the smoking gun's going to come out. It'll be like the JFK files coming out after there was a second banger in the grassy knoll for sure.
Exactly.
Banging those trash cans, man, for sure. But man, I don't know. How sweet would it be for just not giving up a run in these 2 games because the Astros can't score runs without being at Minute Maid Park and their trash cans being banged, and just a nice a nice way and gain two games here against the Giants, man. Because
Yeah,
as much as this series is a nice little bit of revenge, we got to start looking. It's the early August now, and these are the dog days, right, of the season,
exactly.
where they start grinding out these games, and the pitching and everything has to come together. Now we're gonna see who's gonna make this playoff roster soon, and I really just want to see more from our bench, like McKinney, who the Dodgers picked up early in the trade season from the New York Mets. So he's an outfielder. I know McKinstry got optioned to make room for Scherzer. So it's just like who's gonna be able to supply the depth off the bench? Who's gonna be that pinch hitter when we need a clutch run in the playoffs? So that's what I'm really looking forward to, D-Bot. How about you?
Yeah, no, exactly. Same thing too. I think yeah, like we're entering August. It's gonna fly by September. Then we really got to think about the playoff roster for sure. And I definitely want to see. I'm a little concerned with the bullpen, just seeing what the rotation is gonna be with the bullpen because when I went, there was a bunch, like maybe two of those guys I did not know who they were, and I get it. It's a regular season game. You're bringing up guys that you're trying them out, see how good can they do versus the strategy that they're being put up against based on the batters and whatnot. So I thought like, okay, this is interesting. But for the most part, like the two that I saw, I don't remember their names right now.
You mean
weren't really impressive.
Sheffy or Bickford or Clevenger?
Yeah, I forgot what their names were. They might have been AAA.
You see, I mean, you have
the only thing.
Yefty Ramirez was got a start. He got closed out the game in Colorado, in Arizona, and didn't even go shake Barnes' hand at the end. So I thought that was really funny. He's such a minor leaguer. He doesn't know the order of how to shake hands after a major league win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think there's like around like maybe less than 60 games left. So I mean, it'll fly by for sure. When I saw Gratterall come out, it did feel good. I was like, okay, this is gonna be good 3 outs. They're not gonna score a run, and that's what happened. And I thought that was great. So sometimes some of the names that are familiar to you, you feel good about, and that was one of them. So yeah, I just feel like for the most part, yeah, I definitely want to see what this lineup's going to look. And then basically looking ahead at the postseason for the most part. Yeah.
A little peek behind the curtain. As we're talking, I'm looking up the Dodgers roster and their bullpen especially, and I don't see Brusdar Gratterall on their roster. So right away I get freaked out because I did hear him be mentioned in some trade talks. And right away I get freaked out like, did we trade him and I didn't even realize it? And I think he's injured. He's still on the Dodger roster, so he must be on their injury report. So right away that freaks me out because that guy to me is our closer of the future.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I say what you will about Kenley and his inconsistent, and there's never a 1, 2, 3 inning with him. It's always like it's like driving that beat up car to where you got to get to go, right? Like, oh, I hope you make it. Yeah. I hope we get there. Like these,
exactly.
The steering wheel may fly off. Well, hopefully, but let's just get close. Get us to where we got to go. And that's every time Kenley comes out, man. It's just like, dude, like. You always got to test our blood pressure, man. Always. But to me, Gratterall is like our guy of the closer of the future. What do you think, D-Bot?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. He definitely proved it, in the World Series that he's got what it takes to get all the way to the postseason and, being able to just like deliver. And yeah, like you said, Kenley has been an issue. I don't know what to make of it with Kenley Jansen. Not trying to bring down the guy because I know, he definitely he's had his moments, with the heart situation and everything. So I can't come down on him like that harsh about it, but it is a little disappointing given the expectation that we have of him. It just feels like, you've been here before. This is regular season. Like you shouldn't be, I'm hoping you're not coasting it. So you shouldn't be coasting it. But like at the same time, like, you should be able to get the outs and deliver the closing game and whatnot. And he's had a couple blown, games. So, blowing the saves is not a good look. And I know Roberts defended him, and I know Dodger fans can get very emotional. But yeah, man, like I think Kenley just has to like get really back on track with whatever he's trying to do, and if not, then put in Gratterall or someone else, because yeah, it just feels like it's a decision has to be made
for sure.
And there's only less than like 60 games left, so that's.
And I'm gonna confirm, Gratterall has been optioned to Oklahoma City as of July 31st. So a couple of days ago, that's where he got sent off to. Not on the injured list, just sent to Oklahoma City, to the minor leagues down there. And looking at the injury report, I gotta say, when we're worried about the bullpen, it's one of these things that stands out to me right away. Another deal that was made by the Dodgers was for a left-handed pitcher, Danny Duffy. And he's due back in early September. Like, that's the guy who's going to help them out of the bullpen for sure. He's can eat up some innings, can also play a pitch in high pressure situations. So I'm expecting him to do well. LA guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
always love it, man.
That's always cool, right? So
yeah.
So we're hoping that's going to help us out, especially when pitchers come out of the American League and come over to the National League. They always have this way of a pitching style that seems to win over and do well in the National League. I guess it's the caliber of hitters in the American League being a little bit better.
That's true.
Or just smarter, you know?
Yeah, the whole DH thing helps. Like it really does. The fact that you don't ever have to worry about your pitcher going at bat just gives you more of an option to have a better hitter. And then as a pitcher, you have to just basically go against 9 good hitters all the time. You don't have like an easy out, and I think in the NL you don't have that. You always have that easy out with the pitcher, so it's like a given. So
yeah. And also, as we mentioned earlier, the trade for Trey Turner, he's currently still on the injured list. He tested positive for COVID back when that whole Nationals outbreak happened.
Oh, dang.
So hopefully Scherzer's okay, obviously. We got him going during that Astros series, man. How nuts is that going to be? Max Scherzer making his Dodger debut, Dodger Stadium against the Houston Astros, dude, on a Wednesday night.
This would be amazing. Oh, man. I'm looking forward to that, dude. I'm looking forward to when Astros we sweep these 2 games. That's what I want.
It has to. It has to happen that way. It has to happen that way.
What is it? Buehler on Tuesday and Scherzer on Wednesday?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility of the Astros getting shut out both of those games, and that would be very poetic, just to really just give an oomph to you Astros cheated in 2017. We're gonna our fans are gonna let you hear it all game long. Please, Dodger fans, don't let up every batter that comes up, especially Correa and Altuve and what's the catcher's name? The first baseman, Yuri Gurriel for sure. Oh, there's another Gurriel. One. Yeah. I think it's their second or third baseman, McCullers, I want to say. Or McCullen, whatever his name is. He bats with no batting gloves. I know he stood out to me that way because he's nuts for batting with no batting gloves.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
It's just that entire 2017 World Series, man. Just every player on that side just irked me in different ways, and I now know why, because they were cheating. I knew subconsciously.
Yeah.
Not the fact that they were really good, because that's the thing, man. This Astros team, look at how well they're doing this year. They're first place in the AL West, but the fact that they cheated just tarnishes the legacy that they're gonna always have. I mean, yes, it put them over the hump, and it would have been great had that series really gone 7 like it did, but in an honest way, or just freaking not getting caught. So baseball players are always gonna try to get an advantage, right? I mean, see a later episode of our West Box Score, the sticky stuff episode that we got coming up soon with our boy Sonny Hermano. And baseball players are always going to have to try to get an advantage. But, man, these Astros just took it to a whole other level with the video, man.
Yeah, for sure. Man. Unforgivable.
Yes. Ban them for life. Right? Oh, man. D-Bot, thanks again, man. It's always good to talk to you, brother.
Oh, you too as well, man.
That's it for us this week. See ya.
Later.